What up, fam? The ladies of New Jersey are back, and I must say that they came back with a bang. This season premiere episode was so good. What it do is your girl Keisha, aka ColorMePynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade Real Housewives of New Jersey season 14, episode 1 review. Let's get right into it. So the episode begins with us seeing the aftermath of this sit down that the ladies had that obviously did not go well. There are plates, knives, forks, spilled drinks, and food all over the floor at this restaurant in this private room. Dolores and her fabulous updo is sitting there looking like, what just happened here? Okay, she's dumbfounded. Then we rewind 3 months prior when everything was Gucci. So they start off with Rachel Fuda having her family over for a little Sunday, dinner, barbecue, whatever. And her husband, John Fuda, has lost a lot of weight. I love the Fudas so much. I really liked them last season. I like what they bring to the show. I just like them as a family. If I was on the show, I would be friends with Rachel and John. So she tells her family how she's helping Jen Fessler's husband throw her a surprise party, and that even though she don't with Teresa and Jen, she still reached out to them and invited them. She says that Teresa responded, but Jen Aiden did not. And I wasn't surprised by that because Jennifer Aiden is point blank and the period. But it was her Nona, her grandmama, that was like, nose job, Jennifer, the one with the nose. I was like, make Nona a housewife. So Rachel was like, yeah, grandma. Yeah, Nona. That tickled me. So then we go to Melissa, who is preparing for Antonia to leave for college. Teresa is also preparing for her daughter, Gabriella, to go away to college. And it's just so sad because they should be doing this together as sister-in-laws, sending their daughters off to school at the same time. Like, this is something that they should be doing together as a family. And it's so sad to see how far this family has broken down, but there's really no other place for this family to go. And unfortunately, Teresa is only going to have her daughters when this marriage to Louis blows up in her face, because it's already showing signs of being on life support. Okay. So Melissa tells production in her confessional that she doesn't really want to answer any questions regarding Teresa this season. But I noticed that they keep on asking her questions. And I wish she just wouldn't have answered, because it's going to make everybody on social media be like, she's still talking about them. She's still talking about them. Despite the fact that in Teresa and Louis scene, Louis brought up how they're going to see them for the first time since the reunion. And Teresa was like, don't even worry about that. Just follow my lead. So they're both still bringing up each other, because at the end of the day, Teresa know that what she doing is up. She knew that she over her brother and her sister-in-law. And I know deep down inside she regrets everything that's going on. And I know that Joe still misses his sister, but his sister is a conniving snake who gonna always put a man over her family, and that's gonna be the detriment of her. But anywho, so Louis still looked like a psychopathic lobster. He looked like he need to be at Red Lobster in that goddamn tank, ready to be picked out and put on somebody's plate. Why is this man forever red? It don't matter what time of the year it is, this man forever look like he has been burnt by the sun. So, Teresa and Louis, like I said, are going to see the Gorgas for the first time since the reunion. And it's so funny to me because remember at the reunion last year, it was, this is my last time seeing you. I won't have to be dealing with you after today. Like, Teresa really thought that she had pull to get people kicked off the show. And Andy was looking at her like, Miss Girl, I'm the executive producer on this show, not you. Oh, okay, I see. I gotta teach you a lesson. Okay, even Andy at the reunion last year was looking like, little mama, simmer down, simmer that puss down. Like, that tickled me so hard that she thought that she literally had enough clout and pull to get Melissa fired. Like, bitch, you are replaceable too. I don't understand why that hasn't sunk into her head. All of the other OGs have been fired. What makes you think that you can't get fired either? And guess what? Guess who's back? Guess who's Bizak? Melissa and Joe. Same show as you. Girl, bye. After that, we then see Margaret go visit her BFF, Jen Fessler, right? Remember Jen Fessler last season got her face done and everything. She's looking good. Margaret lost a lot of weight on the Ozempic, and she brings Jen Fessler a birthday present, which is a vibrator. And Jen was like, oh, thank you. Because, when I go on vacation and stuff, I just take my toothbrush. Because, I don't want to everything. And she was like, yeah, it's my body. What? Huh? What part of the toothbrush are you using on your vajayjay, ma'am? The handle or the brush? Don't that hurt? Are you penetrating yourself? That is so unsanitary. I don't give a if it is your body. First of all, that's trifling as white people are nuts. That's why I don't eat over their house. Don't bring me nothing. I don't want nothing. Don't touch me, because they be picking in their nose, digging in their ass. They don't wash their hands. They don't wash their legs. Taylor Swift. They don't take baths. Not all white people, but Jesus the Christ. I was like, that was red flag right there. Number one of Marge should have known that, yeah, this bitch, we might have been friends for a long time, but we ain't the same. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Yeah. No. No. So they sit outside. They eating a little nosh, having a little lunch. And Marge says that she doesn't feel like herself ever since her ex-husband Jan died. And I remember her and Jan were very close and everything. They still maintained a friendship and relationship with each other throughout the years, even all the way up to him passing away. And at that time, it was coming up on a year of his passing. Her stepson had recently just got engaged, and it was making her sad because he won't be there to witness his son get married and everything. And she said that when Jan died, she was so busy focusing on the kids and everybody else that she didn't really have time enough to grieve and take everything in. So Marge is struggling. She's really struggling, and I feel bad for her. Because just because they were divorced for years and she's moved on to Joe or whatever, that still was her husband. They still had time together, and then they were still friends for years afterwards. So that was a big chunk of her life that is gone now. And that it brings up a lot of emotions for people. Your immortality, when is my time near and I'm getting older? It's a lot that comes with that. So I felt bad for Marge. So, Jen then says that, a lot of the girls reached out to her to say happy birthday. Even Teresa called and wished her a happy birthday. And Marge was like, she's dead to me. She's dead to me. And Jen was like, if someone called and threatened my kid, that would be it. That would be it. And I forgot about the fact that at the reunion, Margaret and her husband exposed the fact that Louis had called her son's job threatening him. And remember, it was his number on the caller ID, the timestamp and everything. And Louis even admitted that it was his number, but tried to act like he didn't know where it came from. So with that being plugged back into the equation, I'm like, period, Margaret. Yeah, she's dead to me, because my goddamn son. Me and you could beef all day on some reality shows, but then when you start playing with people's families, that's when you taking it to a whole nother level where not only you need to get your ass beat, but will ruin your life, ho. Like, don't play with me about my kids. Like, what's wrong with you? So Jen, mind you, she says, if someone called and threatened my kid, that would be it. But she's always been nice to me. She's always been lovely to me. You got to pay attention to what people say and how they move. What the fuck you mean she always been nice to you? She always been lovely to you. One of my closest friends. She threatened my son. That's like her threatening you. And you shouldn't want to have to do with her either. What the fuck you mean? Strike number 2 when it comes for Jen Fessler. And Marge should have been looking at her at that point like, are you the op? Because let me find out. You mean? Yeah, Jen Fessler, I loved her last season already. That whole right there. That. So then she was like, I would like to sit down with her and talk about it. Marge shut that down real quick. She said, no, don't talk about me. I don't want my name brought up to her or him, period. I don't want to talk to that. I ain't got nothing to say to that. Don't bring my name up to that. I don't even want to breathe the same air as that. No. And so Jen was like, I get it. I respect that. And she says, you do remember that when this all first went down and you said to me, I'm never doing this again. I'm never going to see those people again. And I said then, I'm not going to see those people again either. I meant it. And we know what happens in this season, that she's literally going to start kicking it with Teresa and befriends Teresa. So this already is the op. I don't with Jen Fessler now at this point, because you were never a friend of mine. If you can befriend a that would do some like that to my son, and you know for a fact that this did it, and then you gonna look me in my face and say, she's never done anything to me, and then you gonna later say that you want to be friends with her? Oh, you ain't never got to worry about me. You go right ahead, be friends with her. And when she dog you and snake your ass and shake your ass, don't come back over here. Don't come back over here. Yeah, you're dead to me now, bitch. Fuck you for life. And I know it got to be hard for Marge, because she was going through what she was going through with Marge, with Jan passing, and then have one of your close friends for years snake you like that. That's why if you want to keep a friendship, don't bring your friends on a reality show unless you really want to see if they your friends or not. And I guess the good thing about it is now she really know that Jen Fessler was never really like that for her. And the same for Jackie as well. After that, Teresa, Louis, Dolores, and Paulie go out to dinner with each other. And Louis, red-faced, asks Paulie when he gonna propose to Dolores. And Dolores just sitting there with a straight face trying to act like she unfazed, but really on the inside like, please, 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 please marry me. Please marry me. And Paulie was like, it's coming soon. You know what I'm saying? It's coming soon. I still got to get divorced. Forgot about that part too. Dolores makes the worst decisions when it comes to men. She really honestly does. Girl, you should have stayed with Frank if you going to be putting up with all of this. You go from one man that didn't want to spend no time with you to now you with a mother that's still married to a for the last 10 years and ain't got a divorce. What the are you doing, ma'am? I don't like Dolores either. I stopped liking Dolores last season, and she once again this season already has proved to me why I stopped liking her last season. But we'll get into that in a minute. So Teresa was like, Louis was such a gentleman and texted John Fuda to talk. Teresa, stop trying to make fetch happen. We don't see it for this man. At least I don't. And what you mean he was such a gentleman for reaching out to him? He was the one that said that he was getting your cast members investigated by a private investigator. Huh? the elevator don't go upstairs. So then we find out that John texts him back and said they can talk at Jen's party. You want to handle this gangster shit on television, let's handle it on television. And it's not lost on me that you waited until cameras went back up to then reach out to this man to talk. Girl, fuck y'all. Like, girl, play with yourself. Don't play with us. So Teresa says that Frank told Louis that the other side got together before the reunion to discuss them all going at Louis. But how Frank said that he didn't want no parts of it. First of all, Frank, you do a little bit too much talking for me. Because it's like, which side are you on? Because you be having a lot of shit to say about Louis and Teresa when you around the Gorgas. But then you want to play house and be like, I ain't do nothing. Like, your big ass, like, you get on my nerves too. Big for nothing. Why would you even tell them that? And so what if they got together to devise a plan against them? They all been over by Louis and Teresa. And you been over by Louis. With your own child. So I'm not really understanding it. I'm going to need more answers on that one. So Teresa's like, there's another thing I want to ask Jen Fessler about at New York. At the reunion, Danielle told me that Jen said to the other group, you guys didn't execute the plan correctly. So that confirms what Frank said. Now, to go from that and then telling your best friend Marge that no matter what, I got your back, and if you don't f her, I don't f with her. To then this season, now you want to be friends with this girl. Bitches are so fake. So Paulie says that he heard Jen Fessler say that too. And at this point, I'm looking at Paulie like, you enjoying this reality TV a little bit too much for me, because why are you even getting involved in any of this? Even if you did hear it, I wouldn't even repeated that shit. This ain't got nothing to do with you. You looking real messy. And Dolores, you need to be looking at this sideways, that he even getting involved, invested, piping up, talking, doing any of that shit. Like, simmer down, fall back. I don't like him neither. And then I noticed on tonight's episode, he all red in the face too. And I was like, that's why they like each other, him and Louis. Because he from under the sea too. He a big king crab. Like, nope. So Dolores says to Teresa, I think you should ask her why she said that. I think you should talk to Jen. But in her confessional, and this is why I don't like Dolores. In her confessional, she says, it's normal to have a meeting of the minds before the reunion. I think we all do it. This is why I don't feel like it's so groundbreaking. If you feel this way, why you didn't say that to Teresa in the scene? Like, Teresa, girl, that ain't even nothing to be mad about. We all get together and talk about before reunion. Like, girl, you putting 10 on 20. You doing too much. But this is my problem with Dolores. She never says to Teresa's face. She is when it comes to Teresa. She is so afraid of this chick. I don't understand why Dolores is on the show. She brings nothing to she never stands on business. She a professional gangster where she want to say her confessional and give her opinion, but then she don't ever want to give her opinion in scene. Like, girl, her. She can go. Like, she get on my nerves. Then it's the night of the birthday party. We find out Danielle and Rachel are actually trying to build a friendship with each other. They've been kicking it with each other because they realized that they got off on the wrong start last year. I really feel like Danielle watched herself last season. And then when we got to the reunion and she found out that Teresa and Jennifer Aiden had set her up, I think she really started to see like, oh, okay. But remember what I told y'all. And I said it last year and I'm going to say it again this year. Danielle was not coming to play. Danielle is coming to be the new Queen Bee. She's coming to take over Teresa's spot. Danielle and Rachel are the new Teresa and Melissa. They will be the new anchors of this show. Mark my words. Mark my words. Mark my words. So I'm liking that they trying to build a friendship with each other. Hopefully they can remain friends. I don't know if it's going to necessarily end up that way. Because like I said, Danielle to me is like the new Teresa. And Rachel to me is like the new Melissa. So Jen, on the way to the party, tells Teresa, I heard about John Fuda. And Teresa's like, oh yeah, I heard it too. So then they flash back to her on FaceTime with Louis, telling Louis how she saw on the internet that his ex-wife said that he was a drug dealer and like double-sided dildos. Once again, you with people's livelihood, their character, their reputation. But this the same bitch want to get mad if anybody say anything. God bless you, to you. You want to scream to the high heavens, but you repeating like that on national television. You know what the fuck you're doing. You know what the fuck you're doing. And then these want to do this shit on camera. Girl, I heard some shit about John Fuda. Now we know. I just did a video. If you have not watched it, it dropped earlier today or yesterday, whenever you watching this. It was my Real Housewives Mega Tea video. And in that video, I dropped the tea on how Jennifer Aydin and Teresa has been exposed by this Twitter page that said that Teresa and Jennifer would feed them information about what had been going on doing filming, sending them screener episodes early, planting seeds and all type of shit. So we already knowing. Now I'm looking at it like y'all the ones that gave these bloggers that information. That's what I'm looking like. And then y'all want to repeat on camera and act like it was just something that y'all read. So nothing that y'all say for me anymore has any validity, even though it never honestly did. But I see how y'all play the game now. Y'all be planting shit to these goddamn bloggers and then want to get on the show and say, girl, I heard this from the blogs. That's what they saying, even though you was the one that gave the blogs the information. Y'all some snakes. And this is why I don't like Teresa or Jennifer, because it goes past reality show catfight. You with people families. I don't understand how y'all ain't got y'all ass beat by somebody at this point, because you're not about to play with me. I don't give a about no reality show. Nah, And that's why, to me, Teresa and Jennifer are horrible, demonic human beings. Teresa and Jennifer Aydin arrive to the party. And Teresa goes over and speaks to all the guys except for her brother and John Fuda. You could tell that it bothered Joe to not be speaking to his sister. You could tell it did. Then she goes over and speaks to Jackie. And Marge walks away right off rip. I wouldn't have walked away though. Ain't making me walk away from nothing. But she walked away. Margaret then mentions to Jackie that she hasn't gotten a copy of her book yet. Remember, she wrote a book last year about her eating disorder, her life, and all of that stuff. And she was like, well, I had to send Melissa a copy because I'm going to be on her podcast. And Margaret was like, oh, I got to have you on a podcast for me to get a copy of the book. And she was like, no. Now, mind you, they're going to fall out over this book. So that right there was already showing us that there's shaky waters there with this book. It's shocking to me that she hasn't read the book at this point. Anybody that's an author like myself, we often read our material to our confidants, our best friends, or whatever, to get their thoughts, their opinions, or whatever. So I find it kind of funny that she wrote a whole novel and Marge doesn't know anything about it, hasn't read it or anything. Because remember, they were like this. So I'm shocked by that. Danielle speaks to Jackie. And Jackie says hi to her and Rachel. And then when they walk past, Jackie says to Margaret and Melissa, that was weird. She could say hi to me. And Marge was like, she did say hi to you. Like, what? And Marge looked off to the side like, what the fuck is this on the bitch? You just spoke to each other. What are you talking about? It was like she was trying to make an issue, like she was trying to make a problem. And you could tell that Margaret was annoyed because it's like, what are you doing? Like, the girl is actually trying and you're trying to make a issue out of nothing. Like, that didn't even make sense. So I'm already seeing what Jackie is on this season. I'm already seeing. So then we switch over to the guys. And Joe Gorga says, where your boy? Your boy ain't here. Talking about Louis. And I wish he wouldn't have even brought up his name, because once again, y'all, you playing into what everybody expects of you to continue to bring up folks' names. Don't even bring that name up. Like, don't even bring him up, period. So Paulie and Danielle husband was like, oh, Louis? Oh, he said he couldn't come. He had business. So John Fuda joins the conversation and says, yeah, he said he wanted to talk to me and he ain't here. Now, mind you, he ain't even the one that started this conversation. Joe Gorga was. So Paulie decides to say, yeah, if you want to meet with someone in person, a party is not the place to do it. And then runs down his reasons of why he shouldn't have asked him to speak at this party. And I'm like, once again, who the f are you? And why are you getting involved in this? First of all, you just met Louis. You act like you and Louis been BFFs for life. And once again, why are you getting involved in that you don't need to be involved in? You this boyfriend. Be the boyfriend, have a good time, drink, and shut the f up, because you looking real messy. Like, how the f you gonna step to this man about how he decides to handle somebody? Then him over. Please explain to me. Huh? And then I'm really looking at Paulie sideways that you're even friends with somebody like Louis. We all see what kind of snake scamming ass man this dude is. So John was like, why would I give a man that disrespected my family the respect to meet him somewhere? You guys got his back, like it's obvious. And Paulie was like, I'm friends with both of you. And John was like, it looks like you're on the side. It looks like you picked the side. And it's obvious that you picked the side. And that's cool. Handle your business. Do you? But I would have been like, if you don't mind your business, I didn't ask how you felt about it. What the f? So Joe Gorga was like, would you back that guy up? And Paulie was like, if he's wrong, I wouldn't back up anyone. Well, you already know he wrong. You already know he reached out to Marge. Son, you already know that he hired a private investigator. What more information do you need to know that this man ain't no good, but you friends with him? So Dolores in her confession say, I don't like how everyone is facing Paul, and I can tell by his body language that he's losing his patience. And see, this is why I said he need to mind his business, because now you feeling some type of way about him getting into it with the guys, but he was the one that inserted himself. So John says, when was the last time you ever heard someone say they're going to hire a private investigator? Paulie was like, never. I think that's stupid. Well, to prove the man point. Shut up. Tight face. So John gets annoyed. They're arguing back and forth. Joe Gorga and Danielle husband trying to cease fire, trying to get them to calm down. Dolores come over and pull Paulie away and was like, enough, it's time for us to go. But before she comes over there and pulls him, he told John Fuda to shut up. John Fuda said, you tell me to shut up, but it's going to go to a different level. Like, who the f you talking to? Paulie and Dolores leave. Yeah, y'all need to leave. Because you tell me to shut the up. It ain't even nothing else need to be said. We fighting. And this is why I don't like Paulie now. Because what the f are you doing? Yeah. Nope. Don't see it for him. So then Jen Aiden says bye to Rachel. The same Rachel that she didn't even respond to when she sent her the invite. But okay. But Rachel says bye to her. Teresa then says, I don't want to talk about this right now, but your husband tried to ruin Louis' reputation. This bitch here. And so Rachel was like, your husband said that he wanted to talk to my husband, but he's not here. And she was like, well, he had business. And she was like, okay, well, if he would have been here, my husband would have, no, Teresa was like, and anyway, this isn't the place to have a conversation. And so Rachel was like, well, if he would have came, my husband would have taken him outside. And she was like, no, you wouldn't. This is just not the place to do it. And Rachel was like, well, they're never going to be friends anyway at the end of the day. So Teresa was like, well, a gentleman, they meet privately. And Rachel say, what do you know about a gentleman? I see we gonna get spicy Rachel this season, because you know she was trying to hold herself back last season, but this season she like, girl, that get out of here. So Teresa like, your husband was the biggest drug dealer in Bergen County. Once again, pushing this narrative. So her and Jennifer walk away. They go over to the candy station, taking candy and shit. And Teresa, this better not come for me. I will ruin her. This, that, and the third. Girl, we already know how you play. We already know you play dirty. So John Fuda ends up walking past her to go to his wife, and Teresa say, hi. And he was like, hello. And she was like, yeah, hi. Double-sided dildo. Now that was funny. I gotta give it to Teresa. That was funny. But he didn't hear her. At least I don't think. So he goes over to Rachel, and she was like, yeah, she just said you the biggest drug dealer in Bergen County. He was like, she just spoke to me. Like, so Rachel gets up, was like, Teresa, you want to tell my husband what you just said? And she was like, yeah, I read on the blogs, you are a drug dealer. He was like, you gonna believe somebody that's in jail right now talking about his ex? And she was like, you were in jail, right? You were in jail. I was in jail. And John was like, girl, so he's trying to get his point across, but she keep on over talking him. So at some point he was just like, you a fucking has been. And then he walks off and the episode goes off. And I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is how you bring it. One thing Jersey gonna do is they gonna always bring the drama. I'm gonna love this season. I can already tell. I'm personally right now siding with Margaret, Rachel Fuda, John Fuda, Melissa, and Joe. And Margaret's husband. Danielle, she right now, she on, you know, well, we're going to see how this season play out. But Jackie and Jen Fessler, them, I already see where this is going right then and there. And I'm really even more disappointed in Jen Fessler, because you've been friends with this lady for years, and you going to choose a friendship with this snake over a friendship that you had for years. That's why I say this reality show, this little bit of fame go to people's heads, and it ruins people's lives, relationships, and everything. But I'm going to give this season premiere episode an A. It was awesome. As you can see, I was very upset and invested. Okay. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section what y'all thought about tonight's episode. Please make sure to thumbs up this video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on your post notifications if you are watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Patreon. Hopefully you enjoyed this uncut, uncensored, and ad-free video. I thank you so much. And if you have not joined my Patreon, the link is down below in the description box. Baby, you do not want to miss the uncut Keisha. All right. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.